I've got to think that the widest range of talent, ability, and ceiling potential is among the 3 stars.
Oh yeah, that's the catch-all. I mean, 5 stars are just like, wow, okay, Patrick Johnson.
Yeah, there's only like 40 of them.
Not even. It's like 30 or 32 a year of like the name brand Justin Flo from last class. Plug it in, let him play, let him go, because he's going to make everything better. He's going to be, first team all conference as a freshman All-American, all that. So you got 30 or something of those. You got a couple hundred across the entire country of 4 stars. And then you got like a couple thousand, well, not a couple thousand, but like 1,000 or more 3 stars. And that is the biggest swath of the players we're going to talk about at the top levels of the basically these are anybody who can play at a Power 5 school in their career. That might be a day one, like a Mike Pinckney was a 3-star. Started from day one, played for 4 years, 2 times honorable mention, 1 time second team all ACC kind of guy, to the upper end 3 stars who turn into superstars. But yeah, that's where things that's a great catch-all area for recruiting. And it's like, again, leaning back on my prior career as a teacher, it's almost the same as grade inflation of, I would rather give you a C at a 70% than hear your mama mouth if I give you that 69 that you actually earned, or that 68.5. So you just bump it up to a C, give an extra point on this assignment. Instead of a check minus, you give it a check. Instead of a check, you give it a check plus, whatever. And hey, look, I did it. I know how the game goes. But you do that kind of a thing because there's a stigma associated with a 2-star and a 1-star. Just like in education, there's a stigma with a D and an F. Even if it's rightfully earned, even if you have the foundation logically, mathematically, and everything performance-based for that, there's a stigma with it. So in the recruiting world, it's just kind of been that, sure, you got to offer from FAU 3-star. There's a little bit of a psychological component to the 3-star ranking as well. And look, and there are guys who are 3 stars. Boom. But they're at the lower ends. There is a little bit of, softly massaging egos by giving that extra little as opposed to saying for these reasons. Because if you go on 247, they list and they say a 5-star means this, a 4-star, 3, 2, and 1. This is what that means. It's the same. Again, the analogy is so perfect. It's the same thing as the first day of class when I was a teacher and I said, look, these are the lines of demarcation for all the grades that I'll give. And this is what this means. So if you earned a D on this, it's for these reasons. This is the rubric. These are the things that we're lacking. And if all of your assignments are to this level, that is what you have earned. But then I got to deal with Deontay Mama, and then the guidance counselor calling me, and then the administrator, and then you know what? Nah, and especially with Fs, because Fs means you get no credit. That means I would have to see your face again next year. Boy, you better take that 60 in D and get on with me. But yeah, it's very similar, is what I'm saying.
No, it's a great analogy, because if somebody asks, Cam, what did you get in biology? And he says a B, and then I'm asked as well, and I say a B. But then if Cam chooses to say I got an 89, and I choose to say I got an 81.
Right. But you could say it either way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you could say, oh, I'm an 89 4-star, and you're an 81 4-star. Or you could just say 4-star, baby. Okay, I don't care. Look, I don't care what the number says. Like the underlying number at the top line, it says I'm a 4-star. Boom, I'm a 3-star. And then again, to your initial question about 3 stars, you could be a 3-star at 79.9 or a 3-star at 61 in terms of the numbering. But all of it says 3-star. Again, it's like looking at the box score for baseball. that flare over the second baseman's head, that Texas leaguer, and that shot liner between the 5.5 hole opposite way for a left-hand hitter, that line drive at 110 off the bat, those both look like what in the box score? A single.
On any given day, you might have hit 3 bullets for outs and gone 0 for 4, and I hit a couple flares and I went 2 for 4.
Right. But I mean, even if it was that, but like, but on the same, keeping the same level,
Sure.
it was a single. Yours was a rope. Woo, boy! I mean, that pitcher thought he was going to sneak an inside fastball on the first pitch. Bam! And Mark lines it, and then I'm down 0-2. I get a slider off the plate. And just protect, and it flares literally over the outstretched glove, tips off the first baseman's glove trying to jump and get it, and it falls a half inch inside the line. And he turns around and grabs it, but I'm already, because I'm fast, I'm already at first base. Looks like a single in the box score for you and for me. But unless you were watching the game, unless you were there and got the full narrative, you wouldn't know the difference. Same thing with these ratings. 3-star. Are you a 61 3-star? Are you a 90 or a 79.9 3-star? So, yeah, that is the catch-all kind of thing. And it also saves a little bit of the egg on the face for recruiting analysts and ranking associates. Because, again, just like the fictional Deontay, because I never had a student named Deontay, by the way. But it would be if you ranked him as a 2-star and he goes to wherever, Mississippi State, redshirts for a year, comes on as a redshirt freshman, has 500 or 600 yards at receiver, takes a step forward as a redshirt sophomore, he's returning kicks, returning punts, that has over 1,000 yards, right? If you've ranked him as a 3-star, he fits in that 3-star bucket of, okay, cool. But if you rank him as a 2-star because he's only 5'10", 140 pounds, and by the rubric it fits there, now you look dumb for having left him down there, as opposed to giving him a little bit of a bump. Because if you miss on a 3-star, nobody cares. If you miss by over-evaluating, you know what I mean? If you say, I think this kid can turn into a productive player in his career, and he doesn't, nobody cares about that. But if you miss on a 2-star, and he does numbers, Justin Jefferson, hello, have you stopped hearing about the fact that he was a 2-star? No. But if you miss on one of them, and he does better, now you got egg on your face. You got to explain and explain and explain. So those borderline kids, there is a little bit of, just give it a little nudge.
So in the 2020 class, poor Mikhail Sherman, outside linebacker who signed with Georgia. He's the 32nd ranked player in the country, and Cam nailed it, 31 5-stars. So he's number 32. So he's the highest ranked 4-star. So he's in that category going all the way down to what, maybe about 300? 4 stars?
Yeah, give or take.
Something in that range? Okay. So he's in a group of about 300 players, and he is number 1 in the group of 4 stars at number 32. And true to your other point, I counted up 21 of the top 28 players in the country in the 2020 class signed at one of 5 schools.
I don't just make this stuff up, guys. I don't. I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding. I don't bring these names up for nothing. I don't just grasp at straws. I mean, and sometimes, of course, like if I'm making an analogy, like I did with the teaching thing, that was off the top of the head, and I hope that you enjoyed that. And I know that was on par for the conversation. But like, I'm not just randomly, I didn't mention, Boise State and Western Idaho as the places that these go. Like, we all know where these guys go. And USC, Oregon is a big one on the West Coast, and USC is trying to do something in this class because they only got 2 4-stars last year, and they already have 8 or 9 committed in this 2021 class. So whatever buy-in they needed from Clay Helton and these kids in this community, or their community in Southern California, getting back towards, when every player who went to Mater Dei, every quarterback who went to Mater Dei came to USC and was a quarterback. Obviously they missed on Bryce Young last year because of that, but you have Jay Sarah, which people out there nickname US Sarah because it's spelled SCERA, and they just put a U in front of it because every 5-star from there, where are you going to go? Fight on. That's it. And they're turning things around. So, I mean, yeah, you can add maybe a couple of teams to that. Notice how Miami has not been in that conversation at any point of the initial or secondary point of that conversation, and that's what Miami's trying to fight. Miami's in a different situation because Miami has to win to get there. Miami is very similar to USC, a smaller private school in an inner city location. But they have a strong history of success over a longer time than we do. But USC was the football team in LA for the longest time. You know what I mean? So they have a stance in the LA area that I think is a little bit different than what Miami does. And for whatever reason, the socialization of Miami kids going elsewhere to succeed has really taken root in the last little bit. So you see guys going to Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, whoever, and flourishing. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy now. So it's talking. It proves itself. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that Miami has to combat as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, USC is a mystery to me, and to a lesser extent, UCLA, because even though they're not USC and don't have the history, man, they got kids all over the place, and they play in a bad division. They're basically competing on the field with Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, with that kind of talent in their backyard.
Well, Chip Kelly is weird, and was it like because they do the 8 clapper? I don't even know what that actually is. I just keep hearing people say 8 clap. I couldn't clap it for you. I couldn't tell you exactly. I just see that they do that. But apparently, like they only give offers on the 8th or something, and like you can only tweet your commitment like on a certain day of the month or something like that. Or like it's like I was hearing about it. It's like something really weird or something. But it was like definitely not a standard recruiting interaction or engagement. And then like they're wondering why they're not getting guys, and they're trying to do this like weird cultish insular kind of stuff. I don't know. It was odd. It's just really, I don't know. I don't know.
Don't make it difficult for 17 and 18-year-olds.